Alrighty, hi you guys. So we're going to be looking into your spell work. Is your spell working? Did your spell work? And just whatever additional energies come up. Sometimes we can see, where you can strengthen your spell or where your spell is experiencing obstacles. We can also see um the results of the spell, where the spell is likely headed, or what things you may need to do in order to see this spell be successful. So with that being said, feel free to go ahead and choose between piles 1, 2, and or 3. You might be drawn to all of them or none of them. This is where you will need to use your intuition, your gut feeling, if anything, to really see for yourself if there is a reading here for you in regards to your spell. And once you've chosen the pile or piles that you feel resonate with you the most, you can go ahead and click to your reading, and we'll get started with pile number 1. Alrighty, pile 1. Let's take a look. I have your cards pulled already, so let's take a look and see, is your spell working? What's happening? So we have friendship, community, support, happiness, celebration. So I already feel as though something has fell through for you. Like you guys probably already received some kind of, I don't know if you received some kind of opportunity, you received some kind of good news. It does not necessarily feel that this has been grounded yet, but it feels like you've crossed a significant milestone that has allowed you to go on ahead and just pursue this goal of yours. So I feel like you guys may have recently celebrated some type of news, like you received some good news and you were able to celebrate it with friends and family and share it with people that you care about. Manifestation, abundance, prosperity, new venture. So this could be something like maybe you got a promotion. Maybe you made some kind of business partnership. This feels like career, job, money. That's what this really feels like. And I feel like it has allowed you to move on to the next step. So is your spell working? It's more like your spell has already worked. Like I feel like I'm speaking to a group of people whose spell has already manifested for them. So you guys are already reaping the benefits. You're already reaping the rewards of this spell. Let's take a look though. We have, new possibilities, fantasy, illusion, meditation, decisions. I feel like you guys may have already done that. Yeah, family, wealth, contribution, financial security, legacy. So I feel like you guys might be in a position where you're trying to figure out, like, okay, what direction am I trying to go in? Um, how do I want to go about spending this money or utilizing this opportunity? What's the next step? Like you're trying to figure out, because you understand that you have new possibilities now. You understand that the door has opened. You guys may have done some kind of like door opening spell. What's the word I'm looking for? Oh man. Roadblock, like some kind of roadblock spell. I feel like you guys may have done that. Some type of like something that's opened up the road of prosperity for you. But I do feel like you're trying to figure out like, okay, what's the next step for me? When it comes to securing like your legacy or financial security, long-term security, abundance, prosperity, security, wealth, leadership. Like, yeah, some of you could be trying to have your own business, form your own business, establish yourself. You could be trying to get yourself to a higher position. I really feel like you may have manifested a higher position for yourself. Like maybe because this feels big. Like this doesn't feel like you could be like in some kind of managerial role, but it feels like something that's going to bring in a lot of money. So a pretty like high managerial role. If it's not that, like you're in some kind of leadership role, so it's either like you're starting or you're operating your own business, you received some kind of partnership, you received some. This is just really positive. Like I like I feel like you guys, whatever it is that you received or you're going to receive, I feel like some of you guys already received it. Whatever it is, it has allowed you to just go ahead and propel forward, and it has granted you a lot of opportunities, like a lot of possibilities here. So now it's just a matter of choosing, like, okay, which one, what's the best course of action here? So as far as like whether or not your spell worked, it definitely worked. I feel like you guys have already received what it is that you've been trying to achieve. Like you've leveled up in some way. So now it's just about, okay, what's my next step so I can establish myself financially? And then we have, yeah, the initiation, a sacred test, and okay, self-love and acceptance. Okay. Ooh, so you guys may have definitely been tested in this arena. You guys also may have okay. So this feels like both like a spiritual test and kind of like maybe you had to go through some type of interviewing process. We have self-love and acceptance here. So I feel like this also has to do with how can I say this? It's kind of like you guys had to get into this mentality of deserving. You know, like maybe this had to tap into or help you heal this aspect of you that probably felt like you weren't deserving of this position. But I do feel like you guys, it's like you've just recently accepted something, like you've accepted. And I also feel like spirit wants you to know that you do deserve this. So I feel like this has also been very healing for you, like realizing like, wow, I accomplished this, I earned this, I do deserve this. I feel like you guys, you received your flowers, you received a gift, you received acceptance, you've received something that has elevated you and it has healed this aspect of you that may have felt like you were not deserving of it and you were the entire time. So this has been very healing for you and it's allowing you to propel forward. So, with that being said, I do feel like what will really help strengthen your spell work here is to, yeah, you guys, you had to go through. That's really what this is. Okay, this is about you. Okay, whew. The strongest part of your spell work is learning to accept that you are deserving and worthy of things. You are deserving and worthy of opportunities. You are capable. That's it's learning how to say yes to the things that you probably thought you were never worthy of. That's what I'm really feeling here. Like you guys needed to learn like a blockage for you in regards to the spell work could have been that you weren't accepting opportunities or you weren't having faith in yourself. You weren't believing in yourself. You didn't think you were deserving of it. So now a big part of this journey for you was learning that you deserve these things. And that's really going to help amplify your spell work, especially if you are someone that's trying to elevate yourself financially, and you're trying to establish some kind of wealth, you're trying to establish family wealth, a legacy. These things like this require you to be accepting of opportunities, to be receptive of opportunities, receiving, wow, God, receptive to opportunities, to give yourself the same admiration that you give other people. When you look at other people and you see that they have received certain gifts, certain opportunities, you need to be looking at yourself like that too and understand that you deserve that same exact thing. And that is going to help elevate your spell work. Okay. So, overall, yeah, your spell is working and it's opening doors for you. That's why I feel like you guys did like some type of money, road blockage, abundance spell, something like that. Whatever that is, yeah, absolutely, you guys. This is absolutely working. This has worked. So there's nothing for you to really worry about here. So congratulations. I'm glad to see that you guys have elevated yourself financially. That's so exciting. All right, that's it. That is all I'm getting for you guys. Wow, that reading just came through. So, I hope that this reading was helpful in any way. And if it was, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel so you guys will get notifications of when I'm doing another video like this again. Other than that, thank you all so much for your support. I appreciate every single one of you, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye. Alrighty, hello, pile two. I already have your cards pulled out for you as we saw. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what's going on with your spell work. Is it working? Is it not? Let's see. So you have partnership, duality, commitment, choices, harmony, trust, marriage. Okay, so there's a need for you to trust here. There's a level of trust. Yeah, I see why. Perseverance, diligence, investment, hard work. So this is going to take you getting your hands dirty. Yep. Efficiency, responsibility. Yep. Hard work, productivity, routine. What I'm really feeling is that the harder, let me say it this way. When you guys put in the physical work, that's where your manifestations come in the most. Okay. So, whatever spell that you did, this will require you to get your hands dirty. So, this isn't really the kind of spell, whatever it is that you guys did. First of all, it is working. Well, let's just go ahead and get that out the way. It is working. I feel that you guys, you're going to need to actually physically put in some work though. For this kind of spell, it feels like whatever it is that you're putting in the physical work for, you're going to get rewarded for it. You know, it's like the more you put in, the more you get from it, and keep doing that. You get rewarded for it is what I feel. You're going to reap the rewards. Yeah. Yep. Let me actually read this. You understand the value of hard work and investing towards long-term goals. You're not interested in quick wins. Your efforts will not go unrewarded, but you must remain patient. Yes. Yep. 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 That's exactly what I'm feeling. So there's a need for you here to trust the process, to trust that every single ounce of sorry, that you put into manifesting this spell. It's like this spell is a two-person thing. Okay. The spell is more so working to support your hard work. But it requires your hard work. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we can utilize this spell to ensure that whatever efforts that you do put in, you are going to receive from it. I'm actually surprised that I don't see the Six of Pentacles here, but that is okay. Um, but whatever it is that you guys put in, you're going to see the reward. You're going to reap the benefits of it. So don't worry about that. You are going to receive the rewards, but this spell work specifically does require you to put in the work. You're going to see it. And you'll recognize it, right? And this is probably going to sound a little bit shady, but if you like if you're putting in the work, right? Like you and another person, you're putting in the same kind of work, but you're seeing that you're receiving results or you're getting rewarded for it, then that's a sign, right? Compared to the other person who's probably not seeing the benefits, they probably, have their own shit going on that's stopping them from receiving that reward. But you, on the other hand, this has been cleared out the way. You just need to put in the work. Okay. So you actually have to start developing, building, um, forming, investing, putting, getting your hands dirty. Okay, it goes this way. Here we go. Nostalgia, innocence, family, kindness, creativity, protection, inspiration, freedom, limitless potential, exploration. Yeah. All right, let's see. Okay, so I feel like you guys, whatever it is that you're doing something that kind of taps into the creativity of your inner child. Like you're being encouraged to follow that. It is going to take the resilience, the persistence, and the grit. It is going to take that. But you are being encouraged to, oh, look, and you have this. Okay, the lovers and the Six of Cups, those are both sixes. So this, I feel like this is about you honoring, like, following your heart, following what feels right, and doing what's in alignment with you. um but I do feel like you guys, you're doing something that is a bit unique. You're paving your own path. So yes, your spell is working. Absolutely, it's working. It's just going to require you to make sure that you're putting in the work. I feel like you guys, you're doing something, you're producing something unique. I feel like you're slowly building your momentum, but I feel like you're producing something unique. Like you're doing something very creative, and there are people that are interested in your work, and you need to continue doing that. Continue improving that, but continue doing that thing. It's in alignment with you. That is what you're doing. Yeah, inspiration, freedom, limitless. Yeah, potential, exploration. Yeah, continue growing this thing. It's like, also take feedback. Take feedback. Like when you guys could be selling something that you created, and whatever that is, um ask for feedback, take feedback, and that's going to help you to grow. That's going to help you to expand, and that's going to help improve whatever it is that you're doing approve upon, right? We don't necessarily want to like change a recipe, but we want to improve it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it will really help you guys to um whatever it is that you're offering, just pay attention to your consumer base, right? Like pay attention to your clientele. Pay attention to what it is that whatever feedback, cuz sometimes customers and consumers, people, they will give us feedback. They're going to tell us like, hey, maybe you should try this, or it would be really cool if you had this or you added this. Listen to that, because that's really going to help improve what it is that you're trying to do, what it is that you're trying to sell, what it is that you're creating. All right, and I'm going to take a look at your oracle. But yeah, overall, is your spell working? Absolutely. This isn't necessarily a attracting spell where things are just going to fall on your lap. This is more of a spell that requires hard work, that requires you to continue to improve yourself, but it is working. You will see the results. You probably are seeing results of whatever it is that you are creating. Okay, so let's take a look at your oracle. Yes, manifestation. That's what you guys are doing. Absolutely. Yeah, manifestation, self-care. Okay, so um what's really going to help support this spell, support your manifestation, is making sure that you are self-caring. Okay, so when you're hardworking, right, you're going to have to really take care of yourself. So this means recognizing when you need a break, how long you need a break, and what does that break entail, right? Like what will give you that recharge? It's like your self-care boosts your manifestation. It makes it easy for you to manifest. It's like when you self-care, you can manifest, and when you manifest, you need to self-care. That's what this feels like. Yeah. This is interesting. As above, so below. Self-care. Yeah, I get that now. Okay. Gotcha. So your manifestation is also tied to your self-care, is what I feel. It's kind of like I said, if you're not taking care of yourself, then it's going to make it difficult for you to continue this kind of manifestation, because like you're your own manifestation machine. Some of you might be manifesting generators. You're your own manifesting machine, like, but if you're not properly taking care of yourself, then that fucks up your ability to manifest, right? And what I mean by that is like if you're not drinking enough water and you're not getting enough rest, then it's going to make it difficult for you to produce quality work, or to produce the amount that you need to produce, or to even want to produce at all, because you're so tired, you're not well replenished. It is so important that you take care of your mental, emotional, and physical health. So do not feel bad about taking a much needed break. And again, make sure that you know when to take a break, how long you need the break for, what does that break entail, and prepare for the break, right? So I'm not just talking about taking like 15, 20, 30. I'm talking about like if you need a week off, a month off, prepare for that. All right, you guys. So overall, yes, your spell is working. You guys, you're just the manifesting generator. You're the manifesting machine. Okay. So just make sure you're taking care of yourself so that you can continue manifesting. Other than that, that's all I'm getting for you guys. So I hope this reading was helpful in any way. And if it was, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel so you guys will get notifications of when I'm doing another reading like this again. Thank you all so much. I appreciate every single one of you guys. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye. Alrighty, hello, pile three. I got your cards right here. So let's take a look and see, is your spell working and what's going on? So we have, okay, addiction, excess, materialism, greed, envy, temptation, fear. Okay, so, okay, actually, let's step back. What I was feeling here, some of you guys, okay, there's a lot going on here. So, some of y'all's spell work, it could be working, and it could be working in excess, in the sense of like maybe you're starting to get a little bit too greedy with your spell work. I am worried. You know what? Let's keep going. Determined, resourceful, potential, transformation, adaptability, yeah, wish fulfillment, luxury, satisfaction, gratitude. And then, okay. And then we have, yeah, curiosity, mental energy, motivation, yeah, thirst for knowledge, sneakiness, conflict, defeat, competition, ego. Okay. Change, luck, destiny, opportunity, fate, turning point. Hmm. So, overall, yes, your spell is working. However, there is a warning here, okay? And I don't really like to do this with the devil card, but we also have the five of swords here. So I have to say this. You guys are strong spell workers because I see that you're able to manifest. It's like whatever it is you want, you get, right? Like it comes through. And this can lead to greediness. This can lead to an over usage of the power, is what I'm hearing, an over usage of the power. And so while it is granting your every wish, it's kind of like you guys are coming across as if like you have this genie lamp, and the genie told you, okay, I'll make as many wishes as you want, and you guys are making wish after wish after wish after wish after wish after wish, not really keeping in mind like the excess and the greed and maybe even the consequences of that as well. So this is a warning here. This is pretty much telling you like, hey, yes, your spell work is working, but you kind of need to chill out and try not to let it get to your head, because if that starts to happen, then that is when you'll start seeing consequences. So basically, be careful of power tripping. This is kind of giving power tripping because I do see that you guys are receiving results. Um, yeah, be careful about like how much control you have, right? Especially with like the devil and the magician, like it feels like some of you might be thinking about doing certain love spells that could maybe you could be overstepping your boundaries is what I'm feeling, right? I'm not completely against love spells, but you have to be careful. I feel you have to be careful because those can have consequences if you don't know how to check yourself. So just be careful about how much you are how much control you are exerting over a circumstance situation. Be careful of the bounce back, the ricochet. Be careful of, again, overstepping your boundaries, not overstepping someone else's boundaries. And be careful of power tripping. Be careful of power tripping. I feel like some of you guys, um, because we have two cards here, really three, well, actually four, that are very egotistical. These are very egotistical cards. So you got to be very careful about not letting this get to your ego and making you think that you are invincible and that you can just do whatever, because there can be consequences. So there has to be a heeding of this. You guys are you guys are powerful spellcasters, absolutely. Just make sure that you are heeding consequences. Make sure you're doing your research. Make sure you're really understanding, like, okay, I have to be careful here. Um, be careful of like, because you can end up facing consequences from other people if you're not careful, right? Like if someone else has protections around them and you overstep, boom, that could get you. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like be careful of what other people have going on around them. Be careful of overstepping. Be careful of ooh, okay. Be careful of like getting out of your lane, right? Like just, recognize where you end and the other person begins, and understand there are certain protections that people have that you could impede upon, and that can come back to you, okay, as consequence. So just be careful. Yes, you are powerful, but you are also not God. So try not to get too wrapped up in the power trip of it all. There is a lot that you can do, and there's also a lot of trouble that you can get in. Okay, so you have to be mindful of that. So is your spell working? Yes, absolutely. I see that your guys' spell work works. It's just that you have to be careful of how much power you think that you have, because you can get yourself wrapped up in a lot of bullshit if you are not careful and if you do not understand where your control ends. Okay, and someone else's control begins, right? Because you're not the only person that has control over your circumstances. You're not the only person that can dish out consequences, and you're not the only person that is powerful. There are many other powerful people around you, and when you get involved in spell work, we can forget about that. Especially if you start to power trip, we can forget that other people are powerful as well. So you need to be careful. Then we have honoring cycles. Okay. Honoring cycles and seek alternative solutions. That is very interesting. I'm kind of getting the sense that you guys may end up. This is interesting. This is an interesting feeling. I wasn't expecting this, but I'm going to go with it. You guys might have a threshold. You guys might have a limit. There might be only so much that you can do magic wise, and you'll have to look into other ways to do your magic. So, when I was talking about like boundaries, right? Knowing where your boundaries end and the other person's begin, that's kind of what I'm feeling here. It's just this sense of like something losing its juice, you know? Like, I feel like you can have very potent magic, but there's only so much of it that can work. And you might end up coming into this wall. You might hit a wall with your magic. And this might force you to look into other solutions and other ways to do your magic. Taking on a different approach. It kind of feels like when like I feel like your guys' magic is seasonal in a way where it's like, okay, I'm in a really good space right now. I feel like I can dish this out and dish this out and dish this out and dish this out, but I'm really feeling here that it starts to run out, like the juice, starts to run out. So you might have to seek other ways to um do your magic, especially if you're noticing that, like, man, like if you start noticing that, like, oh man, I don't have the capacity for this, like what's going on, why do I feel like I feel like you guys, you could end up overextending yourself, you could end up exhausting yourself because of like how much magic you're doing. Like you might overextend yourself, yeah, so you might have to really chill out on how much you can do. It's something about like your mana, like restoring your mana. So just making sure that when you're doing your magic, you're not doing so much that you drain yourself, right, of the juice. So there have to be moments of restoration. Um, oh, and also sometimes certain spell works just don't work in certain situations. And I also feel like some of you guys, you might be redirected into different, yeah, like a different approach. Like maybe if you're doing candle magic and you're noticing that the candles aren't working anymore, right? Like maybe the flames aren't lighting, or the flames are weak, or the wax is burning weird. You might have to try something else. You're going to have to try something different. What worked before may not work in this situation. Other than that, you guys, that's all I'm seeing. So I do feel like, um, yeah, some of you, like, you might end up having to give certain types of magical practices a break and go into something else, like an elemental magic. Is it like, really one specific example that keeps coming up is some of you, like, you might be doing fire magic and you're noticing that it's kind of losing its juice. So you might need to go into water magic. You know what I mean? That's what I feel. Just be careful overall. The most potent energy is, just be careful of exhausting yourself. I feel like you guys, you might mess around and really like drain yourself. And I feel like because you guys you have to pick and choose where you want to expend your energy. Because if you expend, it's like you're going to run out and you're going to need time to restore yourself. So, just make sure that you're being very selective in what spell work that you do. and then to also have other types of spell work that you can do that can create certain results that you're looking for. Because I feel like some of you, you're going to be in a position where you're going to have to try something different. Again, like if you're using a bunch of fire magic, I feel like you guys might be using a bunch of fire magic and it has created results. But this time, whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, you may need to try earth magic. Like maybe you need to plant something and spend time with it and grow patience. And some of y'all, you may not like that. Some of you might need to do water magic and spend some time healing and restoring yourself. Water magic is really good when you want to pour into yourself. Some of you guys, you might need to do air magic. There's an element of elements here. Needing to play with other elements here, needing to change up your approach to certain things. Yeah, it's kind of like spirit might be even forcing you guys to practice different elements as well, or understanding the importance of different elements as well. Like that's what I feel here is learning how to work with different elements, and you'll be forced to do that. And the reason why is because you'll notice that um certain spell work just won't work, so you'll have to change up your approach. It's like, damn, this isn't working for me anymore, so you'll have to try something else, is what I'm feeling. Well, pile 3, that's all I'm getting for you. So yeah, that's it. So I do hope that this reading was helpful in any way. And if it was, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel so you guys will get notifications of when I'm doing another reading like this again, because I will be doing other readings like this again. Thank you all so much for your support. I appreciate every single one of you, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.